Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kenny Wallace Show, brought to you by JEGS, the leader in high-performance aftermarket car parts. Remember to go to jegs.com for everything you need, and especially big pickup trucks and Jeeps. All right, we're going to break down this Dover race. It was fantastic. Denny Hamlin, the winner in exciting fashion, holding off the great Kyle Larson. The big story at the start of this race was the crowd. I hear you now. I hear you. Watch. La, 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 la. But they got rid of grandstands. Gang, that's the oldest one in the book. They got rid of these grandstands 10 years ago. So that tells me you're old. Hey, I don't care if they got rid of grandstands 10 years ago. We're not like the old days. So that is what all the media was talking about at the start of this race. Wow. Where did all these Northeast people come from? Why are the grandstands that we have? Why do we got so many people here at this NASCAR race at Dover? Come to find out, it's really simple. You take away. So Dover used to have 2 NASCAR weekends a year, and they took one away. It's like Dale Earnhardt Jr. says, I love the NFL because the NFL leaves you wanting for more. We heard Roger Goodell talking about maybe having 19 games a year, but it was just like yesterday. The NFL had 16, but the fans want more. They got to be careful. So NASCAR says, okay, we get it. We're racing 39 weeks out of a year, out of 52 weeks. So think about it this way. Racing in NASCAR every single week is saying, I'm not going to watch this week because they run 39 out of 52 weeks. So NASCAR takes a race away from Dover, and it makes sense. Grandstands are really crowded now because everybody in the Northeast is missing NASCAR. Hey, remember what I always say? It goes back to that old song. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise, put in a parking lot. So they took that Dover race away, and now you'll want it. You'll want it more. All right. Jimmie Johnson. Let's get to Jimmie Johnson right away. This guy is the winningest driver at Dover. It pained me to see this. Jimmie Johnson plugging away, just going laps down. Nothing wrong. And they're doing their very best. They're trying to pump Jimmie up. Fox got the in-car camera. They got to use it every once in a while. But, listen, Jimmie Johnson, 7-time champion. I've said it. I'm not going to belabor the point. It hurt me. It hurt me to watch this. This was Jimmie's very best track. So it's like when they said, where are we going to run you, Jimmie? Where do you want to run? Dover. That's my track. So listen, maybe that team's not that great. But Jimmie did leave NASCAR for several years. We're talking 2 to 4 years. He was gone. All the while, they bring in a brand new race car. So listen, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to do. So Jimmie's saying, I need more practice. Well, they just don't have practice. When that coronavirus came out, they realized that the racing is as good with these guys without burning all the fuel and all the tires. And remember, I know we do a lot of complaining, but I'm going to remind you, it was the NASCAR car owners that said, you got to save us money. You got to stop with all this practice. So chew the car owners' ass out because they're the ones that said, we're tired of practice. It's costing us thousands and thousands of dollars. And by the time you get to the end of the year, it's in the millions. So the racing is just fine without practice. Jimmie needs it because he's never ran this car. And when you're like Jimmie Johnson, and you won 7 championships with one of the best teams in the history of NASCAR, you're used to, busting it down, organizing everything. And right now, Jimmie just cannot do that. So Jimmie's struggling. That was a big deal. Alex Bowman, let's talk about that 3-wide exit off pit road. Alex Bowman, upset. He's right at this moment. He's running in the top 3. He's got a shot to win the race. Catches everybody in the United States off guard. Yes, United States, because social media lit up. Jimmie Johnson said, tell Kyle Larson, my teammate, thanks a lot, buddy. tell Kyle Larson, my teammate, thanks a lot, buddy. Basically, Alex Bowman was pissed. Well, then Kevin Hamlin. Here's what's crazy. Alex Bowman's spotter, I raced against this guy. Kevin Hamlin was a good race car driver. And one day, Kevin Hamlin, Alex Bowman's spotter, he said, I'm out. He quit racing NASCAR, and now he's a spotter. So listen, as a driver, I don't like spotters that talk back to me. Alex just wanted to bitch. My wife has complained to me before, and I've said, why are you complaining? And my wife has said, Kenny, I'm just venting. So this is what happens. I don't look at Alex Bowman. I don't look at him whining and crying. I look at him keying the button, venting frustration. This is what happens. Remember when Dale Jr., remember it was at Dover, actually. Remember that movie where the volleyball, to put the face on it, and, they're on an island by themselves, and Hank, I think he says the volleyball is the only person. You're on an island by yourself. You have nobody with you. So you take this volleyball and you make that a person. So remember when Dale Jr. put a volleyball in his race car at Dover and said, okay, I'm out here on the racetrack by myself. You all don't want me talking to you. So I got this volleyball. So it was just him and the volleyball. This happened at Dover. Look it up. And this is what Alex Bowman was doing. He was just keying his button. He was venting his frustration. Network TV got a hold of it. They shoot to the spotter, Kevin Hamlin, and all of a sudden it's all this drama. But I'm going to go the other way on this one because I'm a race car driver, and I raced in all those NASCAR races. Sometimes you just want to bitch and moan to your wife or your crew members, and you just want them to hear you. But Kevin Hamlin comes back and gets in Alex's face, which I didn't like. Okay, if I'm Alex Bowman, now listen, Kevin Hamlin's a good spotter. I get it because he makes $1,000 a weekend, whatever they pay him, airplane fare, food, the whole deal. Spotter's a good paying gig. But if I'm Kevin Hamlin, I'm the psychologist. I'm saying, I hear you, Alex. Stay digging, buddy. We got a great car. That's all I'd say. But Kevin Hamlin jumps back in his ass and says, whoa, what do you expect? Our own teammate not to race you? Focus on your car. And then, of course, Alex Bowman comes back and says, okay, I'll just drive my great race car. So what I'm asking for all of you to listen to is me telling you what it's like in that race car. Everybody else out of the race car, they're in their right mind. Oh, they're eating my sandwich here on the couch. Oh, he shouldn't have said that. Well, get your ass in that race car and see what it's like. It's a whole different game. It's like telling the guy that strikes out in baseball, hell, I could have hit that. Then you get up there and the ball goes by you at 100 miles per hour. And you're like, okay, I take all that back. Okay. The other big one, TV, Fox TV showing the Alex Bowman fans leaving when Alex wrecks out. So Zane Smith, now here, let me back up. You know how a lot of you don't like Bubba Wallace because, and I'm not going to go there. Okay. So you don't mind Alex Bowman, or no, back up. Kenny, we're done with Alex Bowman. Okay. Can't you see I'm beating my ass? All right. You all like it when Bubba Wallace wrecks out, right? But you don't like it when he gets wrecked by Zane Smith. So Zane Smith clearly runs into Bubba, spins him out, and takes your driver out. Now you're mad. Now you're not mad at Bubba. Now you're mad at Zane Smith. You see how that works? So Zane Smith hits Bubba Wallace. He goes down. He takes out William Byron. And he takes out the 20 car, C. Bell, Christopher Bell. TV goes to the grandstands and shows the fans leaving. TV shows the William Byron fans leaving the racetrack. They're so pissed. This comes into Psychology 101. This is like I tell all of you. When you want somebody to hear you, remember, like I was telling you about the volleyball and William Byron, same thing. William Byron gets wrecked out. You go to your phone right away. I hate NASCAR. You want to vent. You want somebody to hear you. You don't hate NASCAR. What it is your driver got wrecked out. But this whole dynamic here was really interesting, right? So a lot of you don't like Bubba. Yay, you wrecked out until Zane Smith, until you realize Bubba was not the cause. So it had like 3 prongs of this deal, this wreck. Number one, Zane Smith just runs into Bubba on accident, I'm sure. But still, Zane Smith hits him, takes out Christopher Bell and William Byron, and then the fans leave the grandstands. I hate NASCAR. But this time it wasn't NASCAR's fault. It wasn't Bubba Wallace's fault. It was Zane Smith. So I just thought that was funny. Respond right here. And then everybody just got on my social media and agreed with me. Yes, Dale Jr. wrecked out back in the day at Talladega on lap 5, and we had to sit there the rest of the day. And I told my dad I wanted to leave, but he said, no, we got to stay there and watch the race. So are you one of those people? Respond right here. Are you the type of person that spends $3,000? You're there for 3 days. Your driver gets wrecked out in a freak accident on lap 3, and you're like, I hate NASCAR. And then the dad goes, oh, we just spent $3,000 on this trip. We're going to sit here and watch the race. So which one are you? Are you the one that leaves right away because your guy got wrecked out? Respond right here. Or do you stay and get on your phone right away while you're at the track? I hate NASCAR. All right. And finally, Denny Hamlin just wins this race. And I got to tell you, Denny Hamlin on Actions Detrimental. I'm going to leave y'all like this. Denny Hamlin on Actions Detrimental on Sunday night or Monday said, who was it? Babe Ruth that calls his shot? Denny Hamlin on Monday on Dirty Mo Media said, I'm going to win Dover. Denny Hamlin wins Dover. Denny Hamlin now is that guy you're cheering for. The grandstands at Dover were 50-50. You got to love this guy. He is a chip off the old block. He is another Darrell Waltrip. All Denny Hamlin does is run that mouth and win. That's all he does. And I'm laughing because he said, what's Babe Ruth? What did Babe Ruth do? He said, Babe Ruth pointed and then hit a home run. That's where that came from. For all of you kids, years ago, early 1900s, the great baseball player, Babe Ruth, they made the candy bar after. Babe Ruth was so good, he took and he went, he's this old guy. He pointed out there and they're all like, yeah. Next pitch, bam, home run. That's where that phrase called Babe Ruth called his shot. Denny Hamlin is now tied for 12th most wins in NASCAR history with the great Lee Petty. Denny Hamlin says, listen, shows respect. Denny Hamlin says, I cannot hold Lee Petty's helmet. I got to say, I think Denny Hamlin's dad grabbed his ear and said, son, I don't like you being a smart ass in victory lane. Denny Hamlin seems very respectful in victory lane. All right. My 2 stars, I'm going to tell you what, Noah Gragson. For 6, Noah Gragson finished 6. So here's a guy that's down and out. Boo. But the fans liked Noah Gragson. It was where, Stuart Haas didn't know what to do. He got in trouble last year for something stupid. And I didn't agree with it. But Noah Gragson got in trouble. He was almost blackballed. Noah Gragson was almost blackballed. Stuart Haas saved his life. And that right there, he finished 3rd at Talladega last week and was running 4th in the late laps and got 6. And then how about Daniel Hemrick with Colleague Racing, a top 10. So those are the 2 stars. All right, everybody. That's it. Remember, this was the Kenny Wallace Show. We got, who do we got coming up? Michael Andretti. We have the Indianapolis 500 coming up. And we got some really good content coming up. All right, everybody. Remember, we are in podcast form. iTunes, Spotify. This was a quick one. Listen to us on your way to work. And until the next Kenny Wallace Show.